The members of phylum Platyhelminthes. So we are going to discuss about the classification of phylum Platyhelminthes. Now phylum Platyhelminthes can be divided into three major classes: Turbellaria, Trematoda and Cestoda. The first one is referred to as Turbellaria. Now all the Turbellarians, they are not parasitic, they are free living and they feed on organisms in their surrounding environment, so they are mostly considered to be carnivorous. Now because you can imagine, because they are free living, they will obviously have a well developed sensory structure, isn't it? And they also have cilia on their outermost layer of the body, which is the skin. So they have an outer layer of cells which bear cilia on them. They do not have any hooks and suckers which are normally found in a parasitic form. So these are free living and therefore they have well equipped sensory structures. The best example for turbellarian is planaria. Then the remaining two classes that we will be discussing are all parasites. The second class is referred to as the Trematoda. Now these are parasitic in habitat. They have a broad leaf-like body and they have suckers on their body. Now why do they need suckers on their body? Because they need to adhere onto the host. They should not get washed away in the body of the host. They have to cling onto the host once they are inside the body of the host. Now most of them are endoparasitic in nature. They mostly have two types of suckers. They have a sucker around their mouth which is called the oral sucker, and they have a sucker on the ventral side of the body. The ventral sucker is referred to as the acetabulum. Okay, so two prominent suckers are generally seen. The best example is the liver fluke. The liver fluke completes part of its life cycle in the body of a snail and a part of it in the body of a sheep or a goat. So basically you have to say that it's considered to be a digenetic host. A digenetic parasite, because a part of its life cycle is completed in the sheep and a part of it is completed in the snail. Which are the species of snails which are infected by Fasciola hepatica? It is Limnia truncatula, Bulinus species or Planorbis species, which serve as intermediate host. So the most famous member of class Trematoda is Fasciola hepatica, which is commonly referred to as the liver fluke. So the common name of Fasciola hepatica is the liver fluke. Okay. Then the third and the last class is class Cestoda. Now class Cestoda is consisting of all the tapeworms. So these are also endoparasitic in nature. They are commonly called as tapeworms. If you think about the tapeworm that infects the human body, they mostly live in the intestine of man. They also affect cattle, birds. In fact, there are also tapeworms that are found in dogs, which are called the dog tapeworms. Now what you should know about the tapeworm over here in classification is, again, it is a digenetic parasite. It means it requires two hosts in order to complete its life cycle. Now generally the primary host is considered to be the man, and the secondary host is considered to be, or the intermediate host is considered to be the pig, isn't it? Now if it is the pork tapeworm, then the intermediate host is the pig. Now in the case of beef tapeworm, the intermediate host happens to be the cow. So when does it get transmitted? How does it get transmitted from the pork, from the pig or from the cow? The pork tapeworm. Yeah. So how does it get transmitted to the human? If you consider the pork tapeworm, for example, when a man is consuming, see here, when he consumes infected beef, or let me write here, beef or pork, consumption of infected beef or pork, when he does not cook it properly and consume it, then the cysts which are present in the muscles of the pig and the cow, they are transmitted to the body of the human, and the human gets infected. The adult worms live in the intestine of man. That's why I used a word for man that is called primary host. Now why is man considered as the primary host? Because the adult worms live in the intestine, and the adult worms are hermaphroditic and they carry out sexual reproduction within the body of the primary host. Usually we use the word primary host to describe the host in whom the parasite takes part in sexual reproduction. Okay.